We've just seen how we can assign macros to icons on the ribbon within their own group. They have to go within their own group, but they can go on any ribbon. Now, as most of the ribbons are fairly full in Excel, if you start to add more items, all the wording and descriptions get truncated and the items on your ribbons get smaller and smaller. If you are likely to have a lot of macros, it would probably be a good idea to create your own ribbon. That way, you can have your own groups within that ribbon and actually organize your macros much more tidily. So how do we create our own ribbon? Well, we go to the same place that we did for customizing the current ribbons, which is File, Options, Customize Ribbon. And we can add a new tab. So here's our new tab. It's called New Tab Custom. I'd like to rename that as Macros. Okay. And then within there, I'm already given one new group, but I can add more. And I'll rename that group to Formatting. And then add another group and rename that Actions. Now what I need to do is move my current macros, which are in my macros group on the home ribbon, into my new ribbon and new groups. So let's take the green format and move that down to the Formatting group on the macros ribbon, the red one into the same group, change case into the actions group, and the calculate age into the actions group. So I've still got the same 4 macros, but I've placed them in their own groups on their own ribbon called macros. When I say OK, these changes will take effect, and you'll see I now have a macros ribbon with my 4 macros and a lot more space to add more and more. So as I build up my macro list, I could control them and organize them into groups and place them on my own macros ribbon. Now, if you do a lot of customizing of your ribbons, such as creating a new one and adding lots of buttons, you may want to back up those customizations, or you may even want to export them to another machine. Perhaps you get a new computer, or perhaps a colleague quite likes all of your customizations. Well, we can export by going to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and down at the bottom here we have an Import Export option, and we can actually export all the customizations that we've done, which would include the new ribbon and the new groups and the new buttons within that ribbon. So I export those customizations, I choose where it's going to go to, so I've chosen just my documents, and we can leave the default, which is Excel Customizations, or we can give it its own name. I'm going to call it Guy Excel Ribbon Customizations, and save. That way you have a backup of those customizations should you ever incur a crash, or if you move from one machine to another and need to reinstall them without having to build the ribbon again from scratch. All you would need to do on the new machine is go to Import Export and import the customization file. Guy Excel Ribbon Customizations exported, open, and it would import and set up those customizations on the new Excel. So that's adding a new ribbon as opposed to a new group to store all your macros on so that you can trigger them. Bear in mind that a macro triggered from the ribbon must be in an open workbook, such as the personal macro workbook. Otherwise, when you click it, it won't be able to find the macro and therefore won't work. But apart from that, extremely useful to be able to just click icons instead of remembering all the keyboard shortcuts.